guys, for today's video I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 5 tips for monthly makeup baskets, and at the end I'm actually going to include some clips of me actually choosing the items out of my collection so you guys can see a bit of my personal process. I'm going to leave that at the end because I'm sure not everyone is interested in it, but in case you are, I wanted to show you all that as well. So if you guys are not new to my channel, you know that at the end of every month I show you guys my monthly makeup basket video where I am choosing specific products out of my collection to focus on for the upcoming month. And in preparation for this video, I actually went back to watch my very first monthly makeup basket video, which was in November 2012. I cannot believe I've almost been filming these for 5 years. Like, that is absolutely insane. If you would like to see my very first video or any of my other makeup baskets, I'll have it linked up here. You guys, that video was so embarrassing. Obviously my makeup was terrible and my eyebrows, but I was hiccuping the entire video. I was just watching it back like, Heather, why did you not refilm this? Heather of 2017 would never let that fly, let me tell you. But it is like a blast from the past. If you want a good laugh, I definitely recommend watching that video. But I can't believe I've almost been doing these for 5 years. So obviously it really works for me if I have continued to do it for so long. And the person that actually inspired me to do monthly makeup baskets would be Shades of Cassie. Cassie no longer does these videos. I stopped doing them a long time ago, but I loved this idea and I decided to do it myself. So thankful for Cassie because this has really changed my makeup game. A lot of other people do these makeup basket videos on their channel as well, which I really love. And a lot of project panners have been doing it recently, like Amber F, Jacqueline Levine, and LS. And those girls are doing their makeup baskets very differently from me. So I want to leave their channels and their videos linked down below so you guys can watch them, because obviously the same way isn't going to work for everyone. So maybe you will prefer the way that they do their makeup baskets. I really love watching them and I love the way that they do theirs as well as the way that I do mine. So everybody's information will be down below so you guys can just see, test out what is going to work best for you. So getting right into the tips. Tip number 1 is discovering what is your purpose for doing a makeup basket. Is it to try to use products up? Is it to rotate through the items in your collection? Or it could be a combination of both. So currently for me, it is a combination of both. But before I started panning, it was specifically just to rotate through all the items in my collection. But I always have a project pan going, so I will make sure to include those items in my monthly makeup basket. But usually for my colored products like shadows, blushes, lip colors, I like to rotate through everything in my collection to make sure I don't have a bunch of products going unused. And I would definitely recommend at least trying a monthly makeup basket for 1 month. If you're that kind of person who sticks to the same makeup routine every day, but you have a ton of other makeup just sitting there collecting dust, it's a really great way to shake up your everyday routine and to use more of your collection. So in general, that is one of the best benefits from doing a makeup basket, in my opinion. And tip number 2 is discovering the length of time you would like to use these products for. Is it a week, 2 weeks, a month? And there are different things that can contribute to what might work best for you. A weekly makeup basket might be best for someone that has a really large collection or someone that gets very bored easily of using the same items and would prefer to constantly rotate. And a monthly makeup basket is great if you're someone like me who wants to have a good collection of things to try out, but I personally need to try things for a little bit longer to fully develop my opinion of them and to give them a couple tries. And if you feel like 1 week is too short but 1 month is too long, then maybe 2 weeks is what would work perfectly for you. And my third tip is to separate the products in your makeup basket from the rest of your collection. If you have a big old makeup collection like I do, if you just put your blush with the blushes, put your eyeshadow with the eyeshadows, you're not going to reach for them as often because you're going to say, ooh, look at that, ooh, look at this, and you're going to want to pull other things, and it's going to be a lot harder to actually remind yourself, hey, that's something in my makeup basket that I'm trying to use. So I definitely recommend putting all of your items in the same spot. I have got a clear acrylic makeup storage organizer that I will show you guys at the end, and those are all of my monthly makeup basket items. It is right on my vanity, so everything is right there. I'm not going to forget everything, and it is in my face for me to use. And the way that you store and organize these products is totally what works best for you. If you have an acrylic storage system like I do, or if you have a travel makeup bag, or you keep them all in a little container under your bathroom sink or in a cabinet, just making sure you keep all of your products together and separate from the rest of your collection. That's also a great way to remember to use your Project Pan items as well. And my fourth tip is to limit the amount of products that you put in your makeup baskets. Now, this number is totally up to you based on what feels right for you. And also, you're probably not going to want to have the same amount of products in a weekly makeup basket versus a monthly makeup basket if you're trying to be realistic and actually use the items that you are putting in your makeup baskets. You don't want to overwhelm yourself with too many items, but yet you want to include enough things to be able to have a good variety. So the numbers that work best for me might not work for you, but the numbers that work best for me is for my complexion products, 1 or 2. I have a pore filling primer and oil control primer. I have 2 foundations because I need to mix to get my perfect shade. 1 under eye concealer, 1 blemish concealer, an under eye setting powder, a face setting powder. So 1 of each category for complexion products I think is just fine. Then for color products, that is when I definitely include a lot more. So for blushes, I will include between 4 to 6. For eyeshadows, I will usually include 1 palette and 4 singles, or if I'm not doing a palette, I might include 6 singles. And usually when I'm pulling out singles, they're shadows that I might just want to wear on my lid, and then I'll pull through the rest of my collection to find some crease colors that will go well with that. And for lip products, I also will include 4 to 6. And again, for me personally, this is giving me enough variety, but not too much that it's overwhelming me and I have no idea what to actually use. And also with this number, I'm able to use each item at least once throughout the month, if not a couple more times. And then my next tip is like 4.5, because it might not be something that works for everyone. You might hate the idea, but it is something that really has worked for me, and that is separating all of my makeup into seasons. And of course, you can wear neon eyeshadow in the wintertime, and you can wear cool tones in the summer. You can do absolutely whatever you want. And I personally do go pretty stereotypically throughout the season, so pastels in the spring, brights in the summer, and corals. And then in the fall time, coppers, golds, nudes on the lips and cheeks, and in the winter time I go with cool tones and more vampy shades. And that is just a way for me to be able to mentally and physically categorize and organize all of my products into different months, so it isn't as overwhelming as this huge makeup collection that I have. And I like to look at my seasonal makeup as in 3 months, so then I take all of those products I've chosen for that season and I can break it up into those 3 months, which really helps me to be able to use everything. And then of course, when I have those big collection of products for that season, I will try to make sure in the same month I'm including makeup that is actually going to go together. And that might sound like a nuisance, a chore, a terrible idea to you, but it works really well for me, and it's actually really fun to pick out my products. And my last tip, number 5, is don't force yourself to only use the items in your monthly makeup basket. Now, of course, you want to be using these majority of the time, or else what's the point of doing a makeup basket? But if you are just feeling like rocking a different outfit that day and you need different makeup, go in your collection and pull out different makeup. Or if you're just wanting to try a nude blush or a bright lip, just feel free to go outside of your makeup basket and enjoy the rest of your collection as well. I don't want you to feel confined by your choices. But again, if you're rarely using the items in your makeup basket, then there isn't much of a point of doing one. So just finding that balance, but you still want to be able to have fun with your collection. So I wanted to show you guys my actual monthly makeup basket. As I told you during the tips portion, I definitely recommend separating your monthly makeup basket items from the rest of your collection. So right here is a acrylic organizer that I purchased from Marshall's. I haven't seen it in a while, but they sell all kinds of things like this, and there are different styles and kind of more expensive versions of this, and this is from the brand Clearly Chic. So as you can see, this does have different drawers in it to separate it out. 2 small drawers up top, and then these 4 drawers in the bottom. So in this first smaller container, it is where I keep the nail polishes I've chosen to wear for that month. The other small container is where I keep all of my current brow products. And then for the large drawers, the first one is where I keep my complexion products, primers, powders, and concealers. And the second drawer here is where I keep all of my cheek products, bronzers, contours, highlights, and blushes. I have some Project Pan items in here, as well as rotating through products in my collection. As I told you guys, I do basically 2-in-1 with my Purpose. And in my third drawer is where I keep the eye products. I have got eye primer, cream bases, some shadows, liners, and mascaras. And my last drawer has all my lip products. On the left side here is where I just have some everyday go-to lip care products. And then on the right side is where I have my colored lip products that I've chosen to use for the month. And then right to that, I have some other products that I have in my current rotation. So I keep my current foundations sitting on top of my vanity so all of the products can go to the bottom so it pumps easier. I've got some setting sprays. And then behind that is this envelope organizer, mail organizer, file folder organizer, whatever you want to call it. You can get it from Walmart, Target, anywhere. It is just this little silver mesh organizer. And this is where I keep the palettes that are in my current monthly makeup basket. So the palettes are too big to fit into my actual acrylic storage, but having them right here, they're still in my face, making sure that they're being used. And that is why I love this storage so much, because it's actually visually appealing to me. And also it is clear. It is right there in my face so I can see all the products that I am trying to use for that month. And over here I have this acrylic tiered polish rack, and it is where I have a lot of new polishes, overflow polishes, but these first 2 rows are where I keep all the polishes I've picked out to use for the month, and then I will just switch these out with that little drawer in my storage for the ones that I am using for that specific month. But I just like to have them all here in my face, and also I love looking at polish. It's very pretty. And if you guys don't want to buy this kind of clear acrylic storage, you can definitely also keep your products in a makeup bag. This is actually my travel makeup bag. It has a couple of different compartments, but you could definitely keep your products here, especially if you usually get ready in the bathroom or something like that. This would be perfect to keep your products in and also carry them around a lot easier than just picking them all up individually in your hands. So I think this also would work really well to store your monthly makeup basket items. So as I told you guys, I do like to organize my products by season to make sure everything gets used. Every single year I do film a seasonal makeup must-haves video, which I always love to be able to refer back to the next year when I'm trying to figure out what things to wear. And I also have a million notes on my phone, but I always keep notes for seasonal must-haves. I think I must have accidentally deleted the winter one, which is a big bummer. I'll have to redo that. So let's just click on one here. Summer makeup must-haves. So I have them split up into eye products. You can see there's a freaking ton. Cheeks, lips, and nails. And I love always having this note on my phone all year round, because when I get new products, I can put it into whatever season I think it fits in. That way, for basically everything in my collection, I can choose a season for it to make sure it is getting used. And I am also just a notes person, so I love having a bazillion notes on my phone. I think it is really fun. I like to look at them, add to them, take away from them. So this is something that I just personally do. So I am going to go through and show you how I pick my products. I'm going to do my summer makeup must-haves because it is summer, and I did just film that video, which I will have linked up above for you guys. And I like to designate 3 months for each season. So I will take the items for my summer makeup must-haves and split them up into 3 months. So I'm going to show you guys how I do that now. So once I have all of my makeup must-haves picked out, the things that I want to use, I will go through category by category. So here are all of the eyeshadows that I want to try to use for this summer season. And this is a lot of shadows, as you can see. And for a lot of these palettes, I'm just using 1 or 2 looks or a couple single shadows. So now I'm going to split these up into the 3 months I am designating for summer, which would be June, July, and August, just to make sure that I will be able to use everything, but also I want to keep it realistic and not include too many items, but also not too little. And you guys also know that this year I am doing some palette of the month as well as single shadows of the month. So I'm also keeping that in mind when I am figuring out which products I want to use for which month. For instance, I know I want to do a palette of the month video on this Juvia's Place Masquerade palette. So I am going to set this aside for a palette of the month. So this is going to be my main eyeshadow for the month of August. And the Anastasia Tomato palette I am including in my current project pan. So this is something that I am going to be using all 3 months. So I am not really counting this as one of the items for a monthly makeup basket, but I will be featuring it every month. So for June and July, I decided that I was going to do single shadows of the month. So I will be using singles as well as 1 or 2 looks from specific palettes. And when I do this, I tend to stick with the same brands. For instance, I'm using all the ColourPop shadows in the same month and all of the MAC eyeshadows in the same month. I'm not going to put 2 ColourPop in June and 2 ColourPop in July. Sometimes I might, but not for this season. I also have 2 cream shadows I've chosen for summer. I'm going to put these in my monthly makeup basket for every month because I think both of these could work as bases with several of these shadows that I've chosen. So these are the shadows I've chosen for my June makeup basket and my June single shadows of the month video. And when I'm thinking about looks, I'm usually focusing around a lid shade. So with these items here, I plan on creating 6 different looks. All of these ColourPop shades I'm going to count as 1 look each on my lid. I'm going to stick to 1 look from this palette and 1 look from this palette. So that's what I'm choosing for June. So for the month of July, I am going to be focusing on my singles for MAC and Makeup Geek. I included a bunch of different shades in my summer makeup must-have. So to make sure I get good use out of all of them, I am going to stick to just using these singles for the month of July. And that's what I'm doing for this particular season, but this is actually the process that I go through when trying to figure out what items I want to include for the month and for the season as a whole. So here are my June shadows, here are my July, and for August I'm going to stick to this palette. So sneak peek for what you're going to get this summer: single shadows of the month, single shadows of the month, and a palette of the month. And as I said, I decided these 3 products are going to be in my makeup basket for all 3 months. And now I want to show you how I choose my blushes and my lip colors. So of course I want to pick makeup that is going to go together. And when I am doing my seasonal makeup must-haves, I am usually choosing eyeshadows and lip colors and blushes that all are going to go together. But I am someone that personally likes to match my lip colors with my blushes. So when I pick out the items for the month, I want to make sure that I can come up with at least 1 combination of blush and lip color that's actually going to look good together. So these are the items that I've chosen for my June makeup basket, which you guys have already seen. So here is a blush and a lip color that I have chosen to go together. This is MAC Sideshow You and the MAC Patent Polish in Go for Girly. I think these colors go together quite nicely, so this is going to be a pair. Then another pair I have is MAC Peaches and Cream and the MAC Patent Polish Lip Pencil in Fearless. These colors are not identical, but I've worn these together before and really love them. And then I have some blushes like these 2 here that I think can go with several of these lip colors I've chosen. This is MAC Painted Canyon and this is Sonia Kashuk Melon. And I think these could go perfectly with ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in Solo for a more natural look, and the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip in Molly if I want to go with a bright lip color, because those blushes are really pretty and bright but not so intense they're going to be competing. I think that those blushes can actually go along nicely with this color without looking like too much makeup. And then I chose this Urban Decay Revolution lipstick in Naked. This is a really light peachy color that can actually go with everything. And if I'm wanting a more colorful eye and cheek, this is a great lip color that will give a little bit of color, but again, not be competing with the eye and cheek colors. So guys, those are my top 5 tips for monthly makeup baskets, and I showed you how I specifically choose the items in my collection. If you guys do makeup baskets on your channel, I would love to know how you choose your items, what works best for you, and let me know any other tips that you have, or if you have different opinions of me, then please let me know in the comments. I would love to have a conversation with you guys about this topic, and I hope this was somewhat helpful or informative for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.